We are excited to invite Roger Karlsson, a passionate advocate for team success and effective collaboration. Roger believes in engaging individuals to perform at their best and achieve goals through clear communication and teamwork rather than relying solely on the formal processes. So, with extensive experience in both technical environments and management, Roger emphasizes the value of delivering working software to achieve results faster. So he's known for inspiring and mentoring teams, and he excels at fostering positive dynamics and creative problem solving. Roger's approach underscores that the true key to success is strong teamwork, where shared experiences and mutual support drive exceptional outcomes and readiness for greater challenges. So let's welcome Roger to share his insights with us on I hate Agile, I hate AI, from frustration to functionality.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me, first of all?
Yes.
Yes.
Can hear you.
Excellent. Then I will just share my screen as we set it up and get going. I'll do like this. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, it's just the title of the talk so far.
It's only titled.
Yeah, wonderful. Okay, thank you so much for inviting me here. It's really amazing to be here and to listen into great discussions. AI and Agile, that's two really exciting topics. So I'm really happy to join you here. I hope I can give you some inspiration, maybe some thoughts. If you don't agree, I'm happy to talk and discuss. I also want to learn, so please share in the chat. So let's get started. So my name is Roger Karlsson. I'm based in Sweden. I work as an Agile coach and as a personal coach. And I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated over Agile and AI. I hate it. And I will tell you why. And please, if you recognize anything of this that I will say now, please share it in the chat and we can follow up. So, first of all, I hate Agile because it promises flexibility. But all I see is endless meetings and shifting priorities without real progress. One of the biggest frustrations I see with Agile in organizations is that it promises to make teams more flexible, more adaptable, and more productive. But in practice, it can only feel like you're being pushed down in constant meetings and firefighting due to shifting priorities, leaving little time to actually get things done. People feel busy, but they aren't making tangible progress. So this frustration typically arises when Agile mindset is misunderstood or misapplied. The heart of Agile is not to make more meetings or shifting priorities randomly. It's about iterative progress, constant feedback loops. However, I see organizations fall into the trap of Agile theater, where they go through the motions of daily Scrum, sprint reviews, sprint retrospectives, without actually delivering value. Agile encounters flexibility and responsiveness to change. However, this doesn't mean priorities should constantly change. You see, it's about balancing adaptability with stability. So when priorities change too often, it's often due to lack of clear product vision, or also stakeholder misalignment. I will tell you a story about this. And as I said, if you recognize it, please share it in the chat. A few years ago, I was working with a team facing constantly shifting priorities. And as the new Scrum Master and Agile coach, I noticed that just before the daily Scrum meetings, the product owner would frequently adjust the backlog. adding, reprioritizing, moving tasks without the team's input. This caused the team, of course, to change their focus almost every day, leading to frustration. When I asked the product owner, why are you changing it? Why do you do that every morning? Why are you altering the backlog mid-sprint? He explained it was due to pressure from stakeholders. There was new things coming in. He needed to reprioritize. So we sat down and we agreed on a couple of key changes. First of all, don't change the sprint backlog during the sprint. Yes, I know it's okay according to scrum.org and everything like that, right? But according to great leadership, if a person has been working on a thing for 3 or 4 days, don't stop him or her from finishing it. Help them to finish it instead. Don't change the prio right in the sprint backlog. Number 2, if changes are needed, always involve the team in the decision. Yes, you as a product owner are responsible to take the decision, but get input from the team. They are experts. Ask them. And they will probably say no to any big changes in the sprint. And number 3, as a product owner, learn to say no and explain prioritization to stakeholders. Everyone wants to be on top. Hey, put it on top. No, it can't be there. And I will explain to you why. Because the top item means this and that. It's important because of this reason. Explain it. Learn to say no. Then we can prioritize. These changes resulted in the team's best sprint yet. They stayed focused, they delivered good software, and most importantly, they enjoyed the work. Okay, so the team was happier, but we still needed to fix the real issue. Aligning priorities with several stakeholders in a strategy together with a vision pointing where we were going. From now and onwards, all stakeholders met together with the product owner weekly to align the coming sprints. The discussions took place in those meetings and not at the team or in the team board, where it was already too late. Please share in the chat. Do you recognize it? Have you seen this situation before? I'm happy to hear. And I can't see the chat now, so please, everyone can help me to point out if something coming up there.
We can see some comments that agree change is good, but change needs to be implemented sequentially. It's from Seema. And there's a message from Vijay that agree, change is welcome, but with the sustainable pace. And Ritu also said the same.
Wonderful to hear. Thank you so much. This was one story. I have some more. But this is also a story about you have to be the leader and not only following what says in the scrum.org or what says about Scrum, as it says. So be a leader also and identify what the team needs. Next one. I hate Agile when it's used to justify a lack of long-term planning. You see, another common frustration with Agile is the perception that it's discouraged long-term planning. Teams sometimes use Agile as an excuse to just start working without a clear roadmap or goals. And this can lead to products going off track or products don't even meet the market needs because no one thought enough ahead. So Agile doesn't reject long-term planning. It rejects inflexible, static plans that fail to adapt to changing conditions. Unfortunately, some organizations misinterpret this as no planning needed. In reality, Agile requires a strong product vision and long-term goals. It's the detailed, rigid step-by-step plans that are discouraged, not the idea of having a strategic direction. Let me tell you another story here about the camera team. This team consisted of 15 brilliant engineers building a camera app for mobile phones. They had almost every time 7 to 8 features, projects, ideas ongoing constantly due to heavy push from the stakeholders. They have to build the world's best camera. You have to build it better than iPhone, better than Samsung. So they were flooded with new ideas weekly, which led to heavy technical backlog, far, far away from delivering user value. This was a situation when I started working with the team. They were frustrated, stressed engineers, focusing on delivering the world's best camera. But how do you know what is the world's best camera look like? Sorry, I hear some sound. Oh, that was gone. Thank you. So anyway, we invited a photographer and asked her. And this photographer asked the team, what is a good picture? Imagine a room, 15 brilliant engineers. They had an excellent answer to the question, what is a good picture from a technical point of view? But this day, the team realized that a good picture is one that creates feelings, happiness, sadness, anger, something that stirs emotion when you look at it. Now, why was this important? It became clear that the team's mission wasn't just to build a best camera, but to help users take great photos. We spent another day refining their vision and come up with this one. We should not build the world's best camera. We should make the user the world's best photographer. Remember, this is a vision, nothing else. It's just a vision statement, actually. But thanks to this one, the team could easily reference between non-user-friendly ideas and truly great ones. They gained a clear direction, working closely with a super user, as in the photographer, and writing down where they wanted to go. This change gave them the focus they needed to deliver real value to the users. I'm interested to know about your vision. Are you writing visions in your teams? How does it look like? Do you see this as a great tool for helping, or where are you on your vision journey? Please share in the chat.
Roger, we have one message question from Venkat. I do not agree with Roger on I hate Agile. Agile way of working well suits with ever-changing business demands. So Venkat, you wanna explain? Can we make you as a panel? So can you make Venkat as a panelist so that he can share his thoughts?
Yeah, so about the title then, I hate Agile. That's just a result of when we're doing these things without really understanding why we're doing it or the purpose of it. And all of a sudden, the buzzword becomes more important than actually the value we deliver. Too many teams are doing this Agile theater and following a procedure, but I don't really know why we're doing it. What is the real value of having a review, for example, or having a daily stand-up? What is really the value of it? Talk about it, understand it, and change it when you need to. So I hate Agile is more of a reflection or more of a result of just following the procedure without really knowing why we're doing it.
Roger, hello, Roger,
Yeah.
Venkat here.
Yeah.
It is good to have a debate with you. I would say thank you to SSAG group to give me this opportunity. I have one question here, Roger, to you straight that when you said I hate Agile, I just want to know what is that you love?
I love when we can combine great leadership with this. When we lose the leadership and we're just following what we think is agile because everyone else is doing it, and we forgot about what is great leadership, we also forget about the people behind it. So I don't follow the procedures. I don't follow exactly what scrum.org is recommending. I use it as a tool, but I combined it with great leadership also. I try to do it at least, because I also want to be a great leader. And the people I'm coaching does also want to be a great leader. So it's when, yeah, please go on.
Fine, Roger. See, if you understand and take the core crux meaning of Agile way of working, in fact, it is not a tool adaptation, like just by following Jira or some project, Agile project management tool and generating all the reports, conducting all the ceremonies. That is not Agile. Even me aware. That is not the way.
No.
But when you empower your teams and when you understand the teams empathetically and when you make teams talkative and expressive to the direct customer to understand the requirement, that is when the core agility comes in. It is not just with the tools or technologies that we are using. I agree.
Exactly.
So this is how, because the current business demands, like anything in the ever-changing, in the ever-competitive world, that is where the agility definitely would work. So by saying I hate Agile, I don't think that it is not to that extent, but if you see the core principles of Agile, empowering, co-location, communication, conflict resolution, all these relating to, again, surrounding around empathy, emotions, understanding the team and leading the team, all comes around your single word leadership, I agree. But Agile way of working is the one which brings the real agility in this ever-changing world to keep the customer's priorities on top and work accordingly and deliver the value. So, but we are the one which are making it complex by introducing so many certifications, so many roles, and for each role for different certification, and all these templates, tools, we are bombarding all these things the way that actually it is supposed to be simple, and we are making complex. Actually speaking, the Agile Manifesto or the 12 principles, these are very simple at the simplest form. If we follow at the leadership level to the bottom down, that is more than anything else. You don't need tools for that. So
Venkat, sorry to stop you in the middle, but if we observe, the same is the point what Roger is also trying to convey in his own terminology, in his own context.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Can we go ahead and continue the discussion, and we'll have time for the question and answer and the discussion towards the end?
Definitely, yes. I
sure,
just
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for the comment. I think we agree here, actually, because I think we think in the same way. Maybe we express it different ways, but I will try to make it clear also. I will continue, and please also share more. These great discussions, so don't be afraid of that. Share it, and we talk about it. Okay, so this was about the vision, and this is also one of the points of having a vision. If you want to change something, what should you change? If you have a vision, know where you're going, it's much easier to know what to change. So my point with this story is that put down a vision, write down where do you want to be. If you're a company leader, how do you want, what kind of culture do you want in companies? What is the outcome of your products or your services you deliver? What is the sales and marketing philosophies you want to have? What is the impact you do, both on the financial results, but also what is the impact on society with your company? So this is something you can take from all levels. You can do it with one team. You can do it on a whole company. So my point with this is, don't skip the vision. Put some time into it. It will really help you, and it really helped this team here. It was very clear for them what to do. They could be having a more agile mindset when they were knowing this is where we're going for. Next one. I hate Agile when it's treated as a new set of rules rather than a mindset. Agile is often reduced to a set of rigid rules or processes, daily scrums, 2-week sprints, backward refinement sessions, etc., etc. But when Agile becomes just another checklist of tasks, it loses its essence. Instead of fostering innovation, collaboration, and flexibility, teams end up simply following procedures without understanding the deeper purpose behind them. And this happens when Agile is implemented mechanically, focusing on form over function. Teams adapt the vocabulary and processes of Agile without fully understanding the mindset it promotes. Now, Agile is about continuous improvement, collaborations, responding to change. When it's reduced to a list of tasks or meetings, it becomes ineffective and it feels like more of a burden than a solution. Now, Agile is often presented as a rulebook that teams must follow to the letter. I've seen it several times, actually. This rigid interpretation defeats the whole purpose of Agile, which is to remain flexible and adaptable to the team's unique challenges. Now, embrace flexibility in your processes. Agile is not a one-size-fits-all framework. It's actually not a framework at all. Tailor the approach to suit your team's needs. If a particular aspect of Scrum or Kanban or any other framework you're using is not working, don't hesitate to adopt. Discard it when you have tried it out. Now, let me tell you a story about another team. This team were in a really big organization, and they were going in for SAFe. So a lot of teams were gathering for the first SAFe planning days. And we had recently split up a large team into 3 smaller ones. So all these 3 teams were still in the early stages of forming and building trust. And one of these teams were joining the SAFe planning session. And during the second day, the business owner asked the team for estimates for the next 3 months. However, because the team was new, using estimates to build trust or inform budgets was not effective. I had them use t-shirt sizes to categorize upcoming work without connecting these to days. And can show you how it's done. You just ask the team to put it up on the wall, thing by thing they plan to do. And you say, compare it, which one is bigger or smaller in terms of complexity and so on. So they just list it on the wall. And you got a straight line of sticky notes, as you can see to the left here with the yellow ones. Then you just draw a line and say, things above this we call small. And you do a new line. And things above, below this is large. And the things between, that's medium. There are no numbers here. There's nothing to say how big is a small. You have just looked at it, compared them, and put it in 3 different categories. So this is what I told the business owner. The team can't give you anything like that at the moment. They need some time to work together. And we agreed on give them 3 months to build trust and cohesion. Now, during these 3 months, I measured the team's throughput and the time it took to complete small, medium, and large items. By the end of the period, the team still wasn't stable enough. So I continued to shield them from pressure of providing estimates. After 6 months, the team started performing consistently. But then had enough data. Small task back then was 2 to 5 days, medium or 5 to 11 days, large ones was 7 days to 3 weeks. This was the team's data, so it wasn't shared with anyone outside of the team. But with this data, we could then build trust with the business owner by showing how much work could fit into each sprint, using the longest delivery time to providing a buffer to deliver on time. So simply, you put the time watch in the hands of the team. No one else is telling them how long time they should work. They decide based on how they solve the complex problems. So over time, the team become one of the most trusted in the organization, actually, with no team turnover, we could then use 2 years of data to reliably estimate future work. This means when we went in for our Christmas vacation, we could compare from the Christmas before. How many people were off that Christmas? How many are people off this Christmas? The same. Well, then we should probably deliver the same amount of things during Christmas, for example. This was a very powerful tool, but this is a dangerous tool because it consists of numbers. And when we put numbers in front of people, people try to be smart. You know, everyone knows that 4 is the half of 8, and 16 is the double of 8. So every time you show numbers to a human being, they're trying to start calculating. That's why I didn't show these numbers to anyone, only for the team. This was their data. What we're using with this data was building trust in organization to show that we can deliver what we commit to. We always had a buffer. I didn't tell them that, but we always took the highest number and used that as a guide. Numbers, as I say, this is difficult because it's a dangerous tool. You can easily fail with it. I was actually hiding these numbers for 2 years from upper management because I know that when they look at it, they will start comparing other teams, and they think they can come up with some smart ideas. Don't do that. It's not smart. Use it to build trust, but don't show the numbers. So this is just one way of doing it. This team needed to build trust in the organization. They needed to build trust within the team itself because they needed to learn how to work together and solve complex problems. So I choose to use this T-shirt size method to help them build the trust. This is just one way you can use these tools. I will continue with some other frustrations also. This is about AI, actually. I hate AI because it's supposed to make smart things, think smarter, but it often feels like a black box that no one really understands. Yeah, this is also a frustration coming up. So AI is often presented as a tool that can make everything smarter, smarter decisions, smarter products, smarter processes. But for many, AI feels like a black box, producing outputs that no one really understands. It's difficult to trust something when you don't know how to explain it, how it works. Especially when the stakes are high, such as making business decisions or analyzing critical data. This frustration arises when AI is implemented without proper transparency or explainability. AI models, especially deep learning algorithms, are complex and difficult for non-experts to interpret. The inability to explain why AI produces certain results erodes trust, making people reluctant to rely on it. Our AI systems should provide an insight into how decisions are made, so we can trust it. Organizations should prioritize transparency by choosing AI models that can offer understandable explanations and implementation methods that can provide clarity for complex models. Focusing on the AI as a system, do you recognize this view? Do you see AI as a black box, or is it clear what's going on? Please share with me. Is there anything in the chat about seeing AI as a black box?
Yeah, we could see one message. It is black box, wanted to be transparent.
Yes. It's good if also AI want to be transparent, because we want to have it transparent. So that's a good sign, right? I think this is something that a lot of people recognize. When you use ChatGPT, for example, You write, everyone can write in the console, but you don't really know what's going on behind, how it works, and so when it makes
Roger,
mistakes and so on. Yeah.
I could say one more response from Ritu, which is unique. It depends unless you see insight either on your own or with the help of your engineering team. If you and your team is building something in AI.
Exactly. If you're building it yourself, I hope it will be easier to follow what it's doing, and you know more about the algorithms behind it, and what is the data it uses for the answers. You can also try this easily in ChatGPT, for example. If you have to answer a question or ask the ChatGPT to produce something without giving it certain data, it would be almost whatever. But if you drive it and say, use this text or this data and provide me with some answers, then you are limited to using that piece of data. So that's also a way of controlling it and making it more transparent. And in the long run, understand why does it respond like it does. Thank you. Let's move on. Next statement. I hate AI when it feels too impersonal and lacks the human touch. So AI often feels impersonal, especially in areas like customer services or human resources. Chatbots, automated replies, we heard it before also. AI-driven decisions can feel cold and robotic, making customers and employees feel disconnected from the human side of the business. Now, this lack of empathy and personalization is a common source of frustration, as AI doesn't always understand context, emotions, or subtle nuances in communication. Our AI is inherently data-driven, focusing on patterns and efficiently rather than empathy and emotional intelligence. While AI can automate tasks and analyze vast amount of data, it often falls short on areas where human connection and emotional understanding are essential. But the problem isn't AI existence, but how and where it is applied without considering the importance of the human touch. So start using AI to handle repetitive, low-level tasks, while reserving human interaction for areas requiring empathy, judgment, and creativity. AI can support humans, but it shouldn't replace humans and human touch where it is needed the most. So this is a great summary of this. I want AI to do my laundry and dishes so that I can do art and writing, not for AI to do my art and writing so that I can do laundry and dishes. What are your thoughts on the human touch and AI? Please share. I know we talked about it also listening to earlier. Also, this is a great topic when it comes to AI, how to make it humanizing when it's needed. Any comments?
Yeah, we don't see any responses yet, but we could see like agreed this 100%. Yeah, we got one message from Seema. Absolutely, Roger, would love AI to do laundry and dishes, and I focus on my dreams.
Yeah, so it's all about the value. Why do we need it? What should we do? I mean, it's easier to ask AI. For in this example, for example, ChatGPT asking it to write a keynote speech for this conference. It's simple. It's simple. But is it that what I want to do? No, I want to write that myself. I can add it in and say, hey, ChatGPT, give me feedback. What am I missing here? Is it something I should push more on? What are the wording? I can ask it for feedback. I can talk with it as a person, and it will respond to me. So it's also, we are on the driver's seat, right? We can decide here what we want to do with it. That's important. It's easy to ask AI to do the writing or not, but is it right? No, because if that's what you want to do, you should do it, and you can ask AI to do the other stuff. Okay, last one. I hate AI when it replaces human jobs without adding real value. So a major concern about AI is the potential of replacing human jobs, often without creating new opportunities or adding significant values. AI has the power to automate tasks that were once performed by people, but this can lead to job losses, especially in industries like manufacturing, customer services, even Scrum Masters. The frustration comes when AI displaces workers without improving the overall outcome or delivering enough value to justify the disruption. Now, the fear of AI replacing jobs without adding values is driven by the fact that many AI implementations are focusing solely on cost-cutting through automation. This leaves out the large opportunity AI represents to drive innovation, create new types of jobs, or enhance human productivity. Now, when organizations use AI poorly for cost-saving measurements, they risk losing both the human element and the potential of higher value creation. And see, a bad Scrum Master can easily be replaced by AI. So don't be a bad Scrum Master. Use your human touch. Listen to people. Find out what they need, what they want. Help them to grow into something amazing. I promise you, if you do that, your team will be successful. So these are my frustrations. Do I hate Agile? Do I hate AI? Let's find out. All I know is I don't want to be frustrated about these things. But what do I need to do? What can I do? I need a strategy. A strategy consisting normally of three main elements. There's a diagnose stating the challenge. There's a guiding policy as an overall approach for overcoming the obstacles highlighted in the diagnose. And a couple of coherent actions, because a strategy is about doing something, about taking action. So my diagnose of this frustration is like this. My primary issue with both Agile and AI is their frequent misapplied due to lack of understanding of their true purpose. Now, Agile, intended to provide flexibility and adaptability, often devolves into rigid processes, leading to unnecessary meetings, shifting priorities without progress. This is because teams and organizations frequently fall into the trap of focusing on process over outcome. Similarly, AI, designed to make smarter decisions, is often deployed as a black box that lacks transparency of the human touch. This is because organizations implement complex models that act as a black box, with little transparency in how decisions are made. So both Agile and AI, when misused and misunderstood, create frustration by prioritizing mechanics over meaning and efficiency over value. What about my guiding policy? To resolve these frustrations, my strategy needs to emphasize understanding and applying both Agile and AI in ways that deliver value, transparency, and human-centric solutions. The key principles for this policy is this following. Prioritize clarity and purpose. Whether in Agile or AI, every process and tool must serve a clear purpose, align with the overall goals of the team and the organization. Clarity of vision and long-term planning is essential to avoid chaotic prioritization and meaningless sprints or meaningless AI outputs. foster transparency and understanding. Both AI and Agile must be transparent. Agile processes should make process visible and clear, while AI models should offer explainability. Decision makers and team members need to understand how AI works and how Agile processes can drive outcomes. Last one, maintain the human-centric approach. Agile and AI should empower humans, not replace them. Agile needs to be treated as a mindset that fosters collaboration and creativity, not a set of rules. AI should support repetitive tasks, but leave judgment, empathy, and strategic insights to humans. Both need to enhance the human experience, not undermine it. So what about the actions I can take from here? Well, both Agile and AI demands cultural shifts within an organization. And we need to be brave to lead these changes. Agile requires us to change our mindset from moving away from traditional static planning structure, while AI pushes us to trust in automated systems. Think of the team with a product owner constantly changing the backlog. Now put your foot on the brake and slow down the process a little bit to be able to change it. It's actually like driving a race car on the track. If you don't put your foot on the brake before the corner, you risk end up outside of the track, and you don't want to be there. In this case, everyone was pointing at the team to work faster, but the problem was the constant change of priorities from stakeholders. So the solution was not to accelerate, but to brake a little bit. Now, when we could brake, we could do the main change that was not in the team, but is higher up in the organization, aligning vision and strategies to go in the same direction. So my first action, make sure I understand my challenge and what is the hardest part of the problem. That's something I need to do every time. If I go in and have difficulties with AI, for example, what is the problem? What is the challenge? Nail it down. And when you nail it down, you write because, and then you write an explanation. That's your real challenge. Now you can change it. Think of the camera team. They shouldn't build the world's best camera. They should make the user the world's best photographer. And when they had a clear vision, they could easily make decisions on how to build that camera. To create a backlog that was really helping the users to become better photographers. The change was to align the organization on a clear view. Now again, put your foot on the brake, slow down, and decide where you're going. You can't do that when you have full speed ahead. So you need to put your foot on the brake now and then. So my action is make sure I have a clear, inspiring, practical, and sellable vision. So I know where I'm going. Now think of the team that was used estimation for building trust in an organization. Earlier estimations were used to give business owners an idea when things were done, which was never true because no one really knew when things were done until they were done. And this team simply couldn't use estimation in the beginning. So they needed time to work together, to get to know each other, build trust within the team first. In the meantime, I could follow them and track their progress. And when they were stable enough in their deliveries, they could use that knowledge to build trust outside in the organization. It didn't matter if they were using story points or t-shirt sizes. That's not the point here. People trusted them. And they were almost on time every time because they decided what on time was. It was based on their data. And if any stakeholder needed something from them earlier, they know it could be done. So they have to change the scope. That was a clear and transparent question. There was no discussion. Back to the stakeholder. Based on our previous progress and speed, we will not be able to deliver on time. What can we remove from the scope to be able to be on time? Because we want to be on time. So my action, build trust with people and systems. Even more important with an AI system. Scrum wasn't introduced as a tool to reveal poor leadership. Instead, it was presented as a framework to help teams collaborate more efficiently and deliver high quality products. Scrum wasn't designed for senior management. It was built for developers, by developers. The creators of Scrum were actually developers themselves, so they understood the challenges and were on the developer side. This focus on the right audience contributed to the success of Scrum. With more developers than senior managers, Scrum sparked a kind of revolution, some kind of dramatic and far-reaching event here. Books were written, courses were launched, and certificates become widespread. An entire industry emerged, led by Agilegurus, like yourself, like Henrik Nyberg, like Mike Cohn, like Martin Fowler, etc. These figures, all developers when Scrum took off, remain influenced today and still advocating for developers' perspective. By focusing on the right group, Scrum gained momentum and become a success we see today. But if Scrum had been introduced as a tool to expose poor leadership, it's likely it wouldn't exist today. After all, who wants to be confronted with their leadership shortcomings? It takes real courage to say, I want a framework that highlights my leadership skills so I can improve and become a better leader. While that would be a great user story, it's not something we hear a lot. The same applies to ChatGPT. You don't need to be an AI expert or programmer to use it. It's accessible for everyone. It's a revolution on its own. Just like Scrum, AI is generating a lot of hype, and we're likely to see the same search of books, courses, and certificates around AI as we have been seeing with Scrum for the past 20 years. But here's the thing. Neither AI or Agile are brand new concepts. And we heard it before also, both from roots dating from 1950s and beyond. Let's take a look on that, by the way. It's always good to know the history. I will not be long on this, but there will be a lot of text. But trust me, I will just take you through. In the 1950s, we can see the first Kanban card coming up from the Toyota lean manufacturing. Also the Delphi method. Don't have you heard about it? The Delphi method was that you had experts to estimate, and then they talked together, and then they estimated again. Sort of an iteration. In the same time period, Alan Turing, as we heard before, introducing the Turing test. The phrase or the term artificial intelligence, AI, was coined in 1956 in a conference. 1960s, we see a lot of iterations in incremental development at NASA going to the moon. And in the 1960s, 1970s, we see early AI systems like Eliza, first chatbot, also demonstrating this AI potential, what we could do already back then. 1970s also, wideband Delphi, that was predecessor to planning poker, coming from the Delphi method also. Managing the development of large software systems was a paper written by Dr. Winston Royce. And the interesting thing here in that paper is he recommends us to work with requirements, design, implementation, but then go back and find new requirements, new design, new implementation. He recommends us to do it twice in an iteration. Somehow that disappeared when we following up on the waterfall model, but this is something called the waterfall paper when you look for it. So But then 1970, there was already an iteration about how to work with these things. Somehow we lost it on the way, and now we're fighting over waterfall or agile, which is just stupid. 1980s, other paper, Adapting Programming, The New Religion. I love the name, from Weinberg here. And what he writes is the fundamental idea was to build a small increments with feedback cycles involving the customer for each. This was 1980, it's new stuff. We need to engage the customer. We know it 45 years ago, we knew it today. The new product development game from Takenushi and Nonaka compare the creative processes with rugby. As we heard before also about the AI winter in the 1980s, 90s, the Deep Blue from IBM machine was actually taking us out of that winter when it defeated the chess champion, Kasparov, in 1997. 93, the first Scrum term, they just adapted from the paper, the new product game, into a team, and the first Scrum team appeared there. 95, then we have the Scrum development process coming up. And in 2000, thanks to the Deep Blue, there was some renewing ideas and interest about AI, and we got more of the social robots coming up. And NASA also used AI equipment, Mars rovers, when it took it to Mars. 2001, Agile Manifesto. 2010, the rise of these more virtual assistants like Siri and Alexa. And then we had the first Scrum Guide in 2010, the latest one to 2020. And we also had a ChatGPT coming up from 2020 and 2022. I think there were the real release of it. So Agile and AI is not something new. We have had it at least since the 1950s. As you can see, there are a lot of evolvement during the past 70 years. If your organization is consistently looking for improvements and can find small enough changes, there's possibility that your organization is working with continuous improvements. Your agile way of working has probably evolved then since you start working with it. You have constantly improved it based on knowledge and experience of what is working in your organization and what is not working very well. You have found your way forward. That's not revolution, that's evolution. And we need them both. So the revolution is when we do a lot of changes fast, like during the pandemic. We simply didn't have much of a choice. We just had to adapt. The difference between a successful organization and a less successful organization is not how to handle the revolutions, but what to do between the different revolutions. Are they creating smaller evolutions with small, iterative, incremental changes constantly? Almost so small that people can't notice them. But over time, we see a difference. The challenge here is the complex environments we live in. So I will try to take you into a sort of an exercise here, just to imagine how to get out of complex situations. Imagine you are lost in a dense, dark forest. You can barely see a few steps ahead, and the shadows and noises are very unsettling. You feel disoriented and anxious. You want to find a way out of the forest. Now, suddenly, you spot a narrow path through the trees. Relieved, you start walking down it, thinking this must be the way out. It feels comforting to be on the path, even if you're not really sure where it leads. This is how it feels when you first grasp an idea in a confusing situation. The initial sense of clarity is like finding a path in the forest. But is this path truly leading you out of the forest, or is it just taking you deeper into it? The most important intellectual tool we have is to think again, to pause and ask yourself, why do I believe this path will lead me out of the forest? Is there a different path, perhaps a broader, clearer one that I'm missing? This self-reflection is crucial because sometimes the first path we find isn't the best one. The challenge is to question your initial direction and remain open to find a better way forward. Now, AI is also doing this because backpropagation. This is why AI is evolving so fast. It looks at its history and tries to figure out how to improve in the future. Here's another example. Why are SpaceX building relaunchable rockets? Is it just better for our environment? You see, SpaceX vision is to go to Mars. They know that sometime in the future, there will be a rocket coming from Earth, landing on the surface of the planet Mars, and from that rocket, a couple of astronauts will climb down and walk around on Mars. Now, after a certain time, these astronauts will head back to the rocket and go back to Earth. And when they do, they would push the launch button and go home. And they will trust that the rocket will not blow up because the rocket has been launched many times before, since SpaceX have trained the rocket to do hundreds and even thousands of launches and relaunches. Now, this is why we see relaunchable rockets today. The purpose of these rockets is not only to go to the space station and back again. These rockets are trained for something bigger, more challenging. Now, what was the hardest part of the problem of building relaunchable rockets? Well, because it's coming from into Earth very, very fast, it will burn up. So we need to spend a lot of money on heat shields. So SpaceX said, why not just turn the rocket around and have it brake with this engine? We need more fuel, so add more fuel then. This strategy is focusing on the hardest part of the problem and seeing a way through. Look at the problem. What makes the problem hard? Why is Agile and AI challenging? When you understand that, try to see a way to solve it. That's an insight, which is scary because it's not guaranteed to happen. It's a bet. We want to innovate, but we are often scared of insights. Knowing about the history, knowing about what happens is a way of training ourselves on understanding complex situations. The further back in history we go, the leaner it gets. So try to find out how these things happen. When did it happen? Put yourself back there in a moment and try to see what people saw and realized that no one understood and what was happening. Form your own opinion. This is a diagnosis skill. That's your exercise. To exercise your mind in understanding complex situations. A good way to do that is actually to go back in history, which is why I'm showing you the history of Agile and AI. Because we know what happened and we can look for signs. Now, do I hate AI and Agile? No, I don't really hate it. But I get quite frustrated when I see how it's being misused and misapplied a lot of times. AI isn't about endless meetings and chaotic shifting priorities. It's about flexibility, progress, delivering value. Similarly, AI shouldn't be a black box that confuses us, but a tool that enhances our decisions with transparency and purpose. To be able to make it more functional, we need to put our foot on the brake now and then to pass through the corners, like the race car. We don't want to get off track. AI and Agile both demands cultural shifts, requiring us to balance innovation with clarity, transparency, and human touch. The real challenge lies in aligning teams and organizations around the clear goals and strategies, while allowing room for iterative improvements. Whether in Agile or AI, success is rooted in understanding the hardest part of the problem and finding a way through it. Now remember, we need both revolutions and evolutions. while big changes like the adoption of AI or the shift to Agile may feel like a revolution, the real strength comes from the small, continuous improvements we make along the way. It's not just about moving fast, it's about moving forward with purpose, clarity, and adaptability. Yes, you should have a plan, because when you do, you have something to change. In the end, whether it's guiding a team to build better software or training rockets for Mars, it's about making progress step by step. So as leaders, it's crucial to think again. Challenge our assumptions and stay open to the path that leads us and our teams to success. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you for questions. I hope you have more questions and we can discuss even more. If you want to follow me on LinkedIn, you can just put your camera up here with a phone for this QR code, and you will end up in the LinkedIn page for my site there. And you can connect with me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Roger. Anyone has any questions, you can just post it here, or we can add you to the panel so that you can directly ask Roger.
Please raise your hands.
Any questions from anyone? You can just raise your hands. But Roger, I have one question. I mean, I'm a little curious to know here. In fact, when I saw that topic itself, I hate Agile and I hate AI. I mean, what's the purpose behind having that? Because now we are in the era of like, I love Agile, I love AI. We are like transforming to that side. So what's the motto behind having that as a title? Because the perspective, how you took us from the starting to end is entirely, it's a different thing. So could you please brief a little more on that?
Of course I will. I hate Agile is a phrase I've actually heard a couple of times from managers I've worked with that didn't work Agile at all. And when I propose something, you know, we can have an Agile way of working, Agile way of thinking. Maybe we can have some iterations, build and take small steps together. A couple of times I heard actually get the response, I hate Agile. And what I realized is that they have more or less hated the buzz around it, the fuss and the buzzwords and everything around Agile. No, everyone is doing it. I don't want to do that. I want to find my own way. A lot of times I have actually gone through the Agile manifesto with them without mentioning the word Agile. Just talk about it as it is, you know? Hey, wouldn't we be able to measure our progress with our great software? Wouldn't that be fantastic if we can do that? You know? Yeah, it would be amazing. Yeah, and we have talked about it, but I just removed the Agile word for them to get, you know, start thinking. So it's actually a reaction of being pushed into something that is everyone else is doing. As you say, oh, we love Agile now. Yeah, well, of course we do. We've been working with it for 20 years. And now it's a great thing. Obviously, we shouldn't hate it. But there are always people that say, no, I want to go a different way. Fine, do that. You're welcome. Why do you want to go another way? What is the thing around it? Is it the word itself? Is it that you don't want to be in this community? That's fine. No, but there are some really great stuff about this. So pick it up and learn from it. Experiment with it. Try it out so you know what it is. I don't know if I answered the question, but that's the
no, I got it. In fact, even Ritu also messaged. That's the great storytelling technique you might have applied here with your leadership skills.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I could see here. Okay, someone shared their thought here. Like, I feel everything has two sides of use. It's Vijay, and it's okay if someone hate Agile or AI. But what they hate and why someone hate has a valid reason and some history behind it. So yes. Don't adopt Agile just for the sake of doing it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That's an amazing comment. Thank you so much. This is really what it's all about. Trying to understand people. Everyone doesn't have to do the same thing. Just because something is working for you and your team doesn't need that we should copy it, the rest of us. But understand people. Ask the question, why do you hate it? What is that it do to you when you hear about it? And try to learn and figure out how people think about it. That's really, really valuable. Yes.
So, any more questions from anyone? Okay, but anyway, during the session itself, we were having more interactive way of question and discussions. But Roger has shared his LinkedIn profile too. Maybe you can connect, have your follow-up questions over there also. So with that, thank you so much, Roger, for your insightful talk on I hate Agile and I hate AI, from frustration to the functionality. So at the end, we could able to relate that. I can take one key takeaway is like use the tool, whether it's Agile or AI, by combining with the leadership or the human touch. So thanks for that. So Subbu, can we have that virtual certificate displayed as a small token of our appreciation on the screen?
Thank you so much. That's also a good summary you come up with here, to use it for your leadership skills, and don't forget it. It's really, really important. We are all leaders, and we lead ourselves and we lead others. So combine it with these great things.
Thank you, Roger. Yes, Vijay. Vijay want
so
to be
much.
vocal to add on top of it if allowed. Yes, Vijay. Just a minute.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks, Roger. One thing I learned in my Agile transformation journey, when we talk about psychological safety environment to develop, but we don't accept if somebody hate Agile. Okay, so when we talk about psychological safety, it is equal and equality to everybody. Everybody has opinion, and it's okay if someone want to say that I don't like something, some part of it, because there is reason behind it. It takes time for somebody to be vocal. So we can't be talking about as a bossy of implementing Agile, but we need to learn to get the views and learn the views of the people as well. So it's okay if somebody doesn't like it, and we need to dig into detail. That's, I just wanted to be add my point of view. And psychological safety is for everybody to be vocal. It's not for somebody doesn't like Agile, they shouldn't talk against Agile. That's my view. Yes, thank you.
That's fantastic view. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Maybe if
Thanks, Vijay.
thank you, Satish, and thank you so much, Vijay, for bringing that psychological safety. Maybe if time permits, since we have Roger here, Roger, you want to share your thoughts on that? So, because there are different perceptions when it comes to the psychological safety, but what's your thoughts around that for this group for better understanding?
Yeah, you might notice in my presentation, I use a race car as an example several times, and that's also because I drive cars on track, and I will just compare the psychological safety with driving on track, because if I drive 230, 240 kilometers an hour on a straight, and there's a corner coming up, I need to trust myself, and I need to trust the car. And if I don't trust the car, I will fail. If I don't trust myself, I will fail. So I need to trust myself. And I know when I hit the brake, the car will stop. I know it because I've done it several times. And all things we have in the way we work here, also in Agile, you can just compare with Scrum now, for example, to make it really simple. A daily stand-up. That's a way of braking for us. Put the foot on the brake pedal and say, hey, is everyone okay? How are you doing? How are we approaching the goal? No, you can just listen to people. Oh, good, we're fine. Accelerate again. Now we come into a review. We're meeting with our customers. They will review our work. Put the foot on the brake. Slow it down. Listen to them. What are they capturing? Ask interesting questions. Not just accepting what they say, but ask, oh, why do you think like that? Or what does it make to you when you feel like that? Or what, ask interesting questions to your customers, to your stakeholders. Put your foot on the brake And that creates psychological safety, to me at least, and I've seen it in several teams I'm working with. Use all these tools you have. It's just different ways of breaking the process, slowing it down so you can accelerate. And comparing it to racing on a track, it's not about driving fast, it's about feeling safe. So when I feel safe on the track, I drive faster. That's the way it is. And that's also how we can accelerate teams and how to work faster. If faster is the goal, make sure the teams are safe, because when they are safe, when they are being trusted, when you treat them as they are the experts in their fields, they will also go faster. I think that's the message behind it. I don't know if I answered the question, but these are my thoughts around it and how I compare to what I do myself.
Roger, that reminds me one thing. Agile is not only a rule of framework or rule of disciplines.